Alright, welcome to the A-Level Physics Practical investigation into how resistance of a wire changes with length or cross-sectional area. Or in other words, finding the resistivity of a piece of wire. The equation for resistivity, ρ equals RA over L. Or the alternative version is R equals ρL over A. Some people call it resistivity, but you don't say resistance, you say resistance. So yeah, I don't really get that one. Anyway. So if you want to find the resistivity of the metal that your wire is made out of, we're going to be measuring the resistance. That's going to be our dependent variable. And you could either change length or cross-sectional area as your independent, but chances are it's going to be length. We're going to see what happens to the resistance when we change the length of the wire. So we obviously need a circuit, don't we? So it's going to be our power supply or battery or something like that. And we are going to have an ammeter in there, obviously, and then we're going to have our wire here, and then finishing it off. Yes, you could physically change the length of the wire, or you could just have a crocodile clip that you can move up and down the wire. So we can say that's the movable contact. Naturally, there's one more thing that we need in order to find out resistance, and that is the PD, potential difference, or voltage. Where are we going to put our voltmeter? Well, it needs to be across the wire, but actually if we put it across the whole circuit, as it were, because we only have our battery and our wire PD wise, so actually we could even put it across the battery if you wanted to. That's going to give you the same PD. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is attach crocodile clip to wire to complete circuit. Now, where are we going to attach it first? We're going to start at 0 centimeters? No, of course we're not, because otherwise we're basically shorting the circuit. So we're going to start at, let's say, 20 centimeters. Why not 5? Why not 10? Well, we want to make sure that we don't start too short, as the resistance would be too low and the wire would heat up. Now, there's a few reasons why that's not a good thing. First of all, it can be a hazard. You could burn yourself. Wire could melt. But there's another important thing as well. Yes, the resistivity of the metal is due to what the metal actually is, but if we change the temperature, we're actually changing the resistivity as well. We're going to make it higher. We don't want that to happen. So we could say ρ could increase, resistivity could increase, and that will lead to inaccurate readings. And that's also why we don't want high currents either. We want to ensure that we have currents below 1 amp to avoid any heating. But actually, this is a source of uncertainty. The power dissipated due to heating of the wire is equal to I squared R, and I squared R will change throughout experiment, so resistivity will not be completely constant. But if we stick to below 1 amp, then it should be good enough. We mention it, but we can't do anything quantitative with it. Now, just so you know, there is another way of making the circuit as well. So here's my power pack or whatever, here's my variable resistor, but then we have the two ends of the wire here just permanently fixed. We're not changing the length of wire that current is running through. All we do is get a voltmeter, and then all we do is move one of the leads coming from the voltmeter with the crocodile clip down the wire. So all we're doing is changing the length of wire that we're measuring the PD over. Now, the big benefit to this is that the current is going to stay constant in the circuit because the total resistance in the circuit is constant. Even though we've chosen constantan, which is a pretty good metal insofar that its resistivity doesn't change much with temperature compared to other metals. But this is still the better way of making the circuit, just so you know. So we record PD across wire and current, calculate the resistance. We know that V equals IR, so R is going to be V over I. And so that does mean that we're going to have a fairly beastly results table where we're going to have length in meters, PD, current, and then we're going to have to find resistance after that. Some people say it's worth doing repeats for this, but I don't know, because the problem is that if you do the experiment again, nothing really would have changed apart from it heating up a little bit. So if anything, doing the experiment again after the wires heat up a little bit is actually a bad thing, if you ask me. And so once we have our length and our resistance, plot graph of, well, if we're trying to find resistance, then we want to plot a graph of R against L. That should give us a nice straight line, like so. And the gradient of this is going to be equal to, well, if the gradient is R over L, then that means that the gradient is equal to rho divided by A. So in order to find out resistivity, we need to find cross-sectional area by measuring the diameter of the wire in 3 places using a micrometer and finding the mean. Of course, area is going to be, well, pi r squared, but if we have diameter, it's going to be pi d squared over 4. We have a few controls. Obviously, same gauge wire, so A doesn't change. Ideally, same temp, although we can't really control that. But like we said, we can mitigate that using low currents. And obviously, the same material of the wire as well, same metal. Now, you could do quite a bit with uncertainties with this one. There's an uncertainty in V and I, and therefore R. In order to find percentage uncertainty in R, we want to add up the percentage uncertainty in both of these. Because we are dividing V by I, that means we have to add up the percentage uncertainty of both of them in order to find percentage uncertainty in the resistance. There's also a percentage uncertainty in the area. Obviously, that's going to be 2 times the percentage uncertainty in the diameter. All of these, the PD, the current, and the diameter, the uncertainty is just going to be due to the resolution of the voltmeter, ammeter, and micrometer that you're using. Because the resolution of your ruler is probably going to be like a millimeter, there's going to be a small uncertainty in L, but we must ensure that the wire is taut, otherwise it's going to be longer than you measure, and ruler is going to be close to the wire to reduce parallax error. So once you've got your percentage uncertainty in R, you can, if you want to go down this route, draw error bars on your graph, and then you can draw a line of worst fit. We can say that the percentage uncertainty in the gradient is equal to, as per usual, line of worst fit, take away line of best fit gradients, divided by line of best fit. And yeah, we do times by 100 to turn that into a percentage uncertainty. And then finally, if you want to find out the overall percentage uncertainty in your resistivity, that's going to be equal to the percentage uncertainty in the area plus the percentage uncertainty in the gradient. What you can end up with is a nice accurate value for the resistivity with an absolute uncertainty as well. And then you can check that against a research value, and that is good enough. So that's it. I hope you find it helpful. If you did, leave a like. If you want to see me doing it in real life, then click on the card and it'll take you to the video that I made for Malmesbury Science. Click that bell button as well so you can see when I release a new video. And if you've got any suggestions about what I could do next, put them in a comment down below. Really appreciate you guys' ideas. And I'll see you next time.